Welcome to this new class virtually for the class of computers computation here in UTT. Today we're going to be talking about the introduction of a specific topic, which is we're going to talk about a presentation program, software, or app. But for this, we do need to explain what this means. Now, first off, let's focus on what a presentation is. Now, presentations have been done for many, many, many years, and of course, they've been done. In school, we've worked with these kind of presentations, and the most common way of doing this is, of course, with a chalkboard, kind of like this. That's the easiest way of presenting a topic. You write on this with some chalk, and you explain what's going on by creating drawings or creating math equations or writing text on it. That's one way to do it. Then this evolved into something else that was called a whiteboard, which was, of course, a lot less dirty, and it's basically the same principle. But instead of doing it on a chalkboard, we did it on a whiteboard, and instead of using chalk, we started using erasable markers, which is what we use in school currently, for the most part, anyways. And of course, this changed into something with other drawings that you can do in something called a flip chart, which is this thing right here, where you put some paper, you write on it, you cannot erase it, you just change the paper that you have on it. And the advantage of this is that you can have a lot of pre-designed pictures or previously written information or equations or even charts and graphics. But of course, the problem with this is that it tends to be a little bit dirty, I guess, and it's a little bit inconvenient to a certain degree, and in the long run, it becomes a little bit more expensive. So all of these are options for doing different forms of presentations. The other thing, of course, is that this evolved into something of the new digital era. In the digital era, we've created something else called digital presentations, which is where this thing comes along about talking specifically about a presentation program, presentation software, or presentation app. There is one main option that, of course, exists everywhere. And that option that exists everywhere is known as PowerPoint, which is this thing right here. PowerPoint is basically everywhere. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can flip around these images by just creating a presentation, and you can create a series of different animations. Like, for example, you can make different icons pop up and so forth and so on. You can transition from one point to the other. You can use pre-designed templates, which is basically that you have options that have already been designed by somebody else, and you can project this into a very big screen. Now, the advantage of PowerPoint is that, of course, it's everywhere. So anywhere you can go, there's basically, you can take your presentation there, and you're almost certain or almost sure that there's going to be an option for PowerPoint. The other option for specifically, like it says here, for Mac users, is that you can also use the Keynote. Keynote is a very similar thing to PowerPoint, but it's the version from Mac, which is this one right here. And it works exactly the same. The principle is the same. You can transition between the presentations, and you can put beautiful images and so forth and so on, just like you would do it with PowerPoint. And you also have animations, and you have transitions and all of that good stuff. So you have different options on how to do it. The problem or the limitation with this kind of software is that it's only available for Mac. If you do not have a Mac or an Apple computer, you cannot use this kind of software. That limits you to a lot of things. And a lot of people prefer this because they think that it's a little bit more elegant to a certain degree, but no software is better than the other. It's just different options. And the last option that I'm going to show you that is pretty universal, that a lot of people use, is this thing called Prezi. 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 Prezi.com. You have to, of course, create an account, just like me in this case, and you can create these beautiful presentations that navigate in a different way. The difference is that with this kind of presentation, you navigate toward just one single image, which is this. This is a two-dimensional image. You do not transition between slides. You only navigate towards just one of them. So, but it's quite beautiful. If you advance, for example, instead of going into a different slide, you go into a different part of the same picture. And these other things can actually pop up. So if you click on it, you can actually go there, right? And it zooms in and it creates these other beautiful options like this, right? And it's of course created through a map. Then it goes out. It and you can actually model the map or the trajectory that you can actually go through, right? And even, for example, if you zoom into any of these and you decide to move something, you can actually move it with your mouse and navigate a little bit towards it, or around it rather. And it shows different things. So these are the three options that I wanted to show you specifically, just to recap. You have mainly that it's not more or less professional, but of course you can use a chalkboard for a presentation. You can use a whiteboard. You can use a flip chart. The most common thing to use is Microsoft PowerPoint. Keynote is specifically for Mac users. And last but not least, you have Prezi. There are other options for presentation software, but these are the main three ones that we will focus on. Specifically, we're going to focus for the rest of the term in with PowerPoint. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation of Microsoft PowerPoint and general presentation software. If you have any questions, give me a call or send me an email rather. Thank you.